If you have found this video, it is not an accident. There is an old line carved into a cracked limestone slab, deep beneath a collapsed temple in ancient Kemet, what we now call Egypt. The line says, "Thoth does not waste silence on the sleeping. He sends the void only to those who are already beginning to hear." For thousands of years, the teachings about sound were the ones people remembered. The mantras, the chants, the sacred names, the drums that opened trances, and the flutes that called spirits. But there was another teaching that almost vanished, a teaching not about speaking, but about listening. Not listening to music or to mantras or to another person's voice, listening to something far more terrifying: the void. The void is not nothingness the way modern people imagine it. The void, in the language of Thoth's initiates, is a living field, a dark, humming silence beneath all noise, beneath all thoughts, beneath even your breathing. It is that strange stillness you feel right before a storm, or in the middle of the night when the whole house seems to be holding its breath. The priests said, "Only those chosen by their own soul can bear that silence. The others will drown in their own noise." Tonight, this secret is being placed in your hands. You are going to hear about an ancient ritual practiced in chambers with no windows, where torches burned low and the only sound was the heartbeat of the people inside. You are going to learn why some initiates were told, "Do not even attempt this if you are looking for comfort. This is not a technique for feeling better. This is a door for becoming real." You will discover how a single session of listening inside the void, done correctly, even once, can rearrange your entire energy field. Old patterns begin to crack. The constant chatter in your head quiets in a way that feels almost alien. Intuition stops being a vague idea and starts to show up as clear, precise impressions. Your heart begins to feel like an instrument the universe is playing from the inside. We will weave together ancient Egyptian temple lore, Himalayan cave traditions, and modern insights from neuroscience and quantum physics, not to dazzle you with vocabulary, but to show you that the old mystics were not primitive dreamers. They were technicians of consciousness. And most importantly, this will not remain theory. At the center of this video is a living experiment. You will be guided step by step into a very specific state, a posture that opens the axis of your energy field, a breath pattern that calms the primitive fear circuits in your brain, a subtle inner hum that wakes up your nervous system. Then, the most dangerous part, the cutting of all inner noise so that the void can finally be heard. You will not be asked to believe anything. You will be asked to feel. At certain moments, I will invite you to close your eyes, breathe in a precise rhythm, and drop your awareness into places within you that you usually avoid. Those who are ready will feel something shift, a click, like a lock opening. Some of you will feel your chest grow heavy, as if a secret grief is rising. Some will sense a cool pressure in the center of your forehead, as if an invisible fingertip is touching your third eye. Some will feel nothing, until later that night when dreams arrive carrying messages they have been holding back for years. There are also risks. If you try to turn this into another spiritual performance, something to show off, something to rush through, something to use as proof that you are more awakened than others, the void will simply mirror your ego back to you, magnified. The void does not flatter. The void does not negotiate. The void only reveals. So before we enter the temple together, I will ask you to make a quiet agreement with yourself. If you are ready to listen, not for comfort, but for truth, if you are willing to let one session of deep listening rewrite your inner map, then stay, breathe, and when the moment comes, step into the ritual with your whole being. At the end of this journey, if you feel the resonance, I will invite you to write a simple confirmation in the comments, something like, "I have begun listening inside the void," or "The journey has begun." Those words will not just be text on a screen. They will be a signal, a tuning fork, a way of anchoring your experience into the shared field of everyone who is walking this path with you. Now, let us open the first gate. This is the first sign that Thoth's chosen ones are being summoned. The strange silence beneath your noise that refuses to go away. It is hard to admit, but most people today are terrified of silence. Watch what happens when the music stops in a cafe. Look at how quickly hands reach for phones the moment there is an empty second. Observe your own mind when you first wake up. Within moments, thoughts rush in like a panicked crowd trying to fill every seat in a theater. And yet, in all the old temples, before any chant, any mantra, any prayer, there was always the same instruction. First, enter the listening. Not first say these words, not first visualize this symbol. First, listen. The Egyptians knew that the true calling never comes as a loud voice from the sky. It comes as a discomfort. You might have felt it already. That moment when the music you used to love suddenly feels too shallow. The conversation you used to tolerate now leaves you with a headache, as if every word was scratching your nerves. The hobbies, the shows, the endless scrolling that once distracted you now taste like stale bread. You think you're bored with life, but what is actually happening is more radical. The void is beginning to press against the walls of your reality. In the language of modern neuroscience, we could say that your brain's default mode network, the part that constantly rehearses your story, your self-image, your worries, is starting to crack. Micro moments of quiet slip through, and your nervous system doesn't know how to handle them. So it tries to drown them in more noise. In India, they called this the hunger of the monkey mind. In Tibet, some lamas spoke of the wind horse, wild mental winds that stampede to avoid sitting still. In Kemet, the priests of Thoth described it bluntly. The untrained soul fears its own echo. The first step of becoming one of Thoth's chosen ones is not learning a complicated chant. It is recognizing the calling of the void inside your own life. Ask yourself, right now, as you listen to this, where do I feel that subtle discomfort with surface-level noise? When do I sense a strange pull toward depth without knowing what to do with it? Have there been nights when the world was quiet, and instead of feeling peaceful, I felt exposed? If the answer is yes, understand something important. You are not broken. You are being summoned. Imagine your consciousness as a house. For years, you have lived in the decorated rooms, the living room of social roles, the kitchen of your daily tasks, the bedroom of your private fantasies. But lately, you keep hearing a muffled sound from the basement, a kind of deep, steady hum. It is not loud, but it is persistent. Most people turn up the TV to drown it out. Thoth's chosen ones do something different. They turn the volume down. They sit on the edge of their bed at 2 a.m. in the half-dark, and instead of reaching for the phone, they let the silence expand, even if it makes their chest tight. They begin to suspect that the discomfort is not a punishment, but an invitation. In Egypt, when an initiate felt this unshakable pull toward stillness, they were brought to a small chamber called the Room of First Listening. No icons, no grand statues, just stone walls and a dim flame. The priest would say, "Do not ask for visions, do not ask for power. Sit, breathe, and let the void decide how ready you are." The modern world has no such chamber, so we must carve it inside ourselves. Tonight, your first task is simple, but not easy. When this video ends, or even later before you sleep, give yourself 3 minutes of pure listening. No mantra, no music, no affirmations. Sit or lie down, turn off all external sounds if you can, and become curious about the inner noise. The hum of the fridge, the buzz of your own nervous system, the whisper of your breath, the faint pulse in your ears. Do not fight it. Do not judge it. Just notice that beneath all of it, there is something even quieter. That quiet is the first fingertip of the void. That is Thoth knocking. If you have already felt this in your life, write in the comments, "I hear the calling beneath the noise." Let those words anchor what you are recognizing. Let them become an echo that other listeners will feel. This is the first sign, the first gate, the invitation to learn how to listen where most people are afraid to look. This is the ancient sound experiment that reveals where your soul is actually vibrating beyond any spiritual mask. Anyone who has ever stood in the cold stone chamber of an Egyptian temple knows it is not a place for those who tremble at silence. The walls do not echo your words back to you, they echo your intentions. The priests of Thoth had a simple way of cutting through illusions, a test that did not care about your beliefs, your titles, or how many spiritual books you had read. They asked you to make one sound. Not a grand hymn, not a secret name of God, just a long, steady In India, humming is known to stimulate the vagus nerve and calm the body. In modern labs, scientists measure how certain frequencies change heart rate variability and brainwave patterns. The ancients didn't have electrodes, but they had a terrifyingly accurate kind of observation. They noticed that when you hum, you can feel where in your body the vibration gathers. For some, it concentrates in the head, a buzzing crown, a forehead pressure. For others, it swells in the chest, like the sternum becomes a drum. For a few, it sinks deep into the belly or even lower, where primal fear and ancient power sleep together. The priests called this the vibrational test of the chosen ones, because no matter what you thought about yourself, that one sound would reveal where your soul was currently living. When I first experienced a modern version of this in a bare meditation hall built on Himalayan rock, I was arrogant. I told myself, I've read the texts, I've done the practices, I know how to chant. The teacher just smiled. "Good," he said, "then this will be easy." he asked all of us to sit upright, spines tall, eyes half closed. He lit a single candle. The flame trembled as if it too was listening. He said, "On my signal, take a slow breath in through the nose. Fill the belly, the ribs, the chest, and then let out one long, continuous until the breath runs out. Do not try to sound holy. Do not try to control the pitch. Just hum like a bee with nowhere else to go." We inhaled together. We hummed. The hall filled with a swarm of sound. Almost immediately, I felt the vibration rush to my throat and jaws. My mind whispered, "Look, it's working!" But as the seconds passed, something else happened. The hum began to feel like it was pushing against a wall in my chest, as if there was a door that had been locked from the inside. My throat grew tight, my jaw clenched. Part of me wanted to cough, to move, to break the sound. The teacher watched us quietly, eyes soft but sharp. When we finished, he said nothing for a long time. Then, with disarming calm, he turned to me. "For you, the sound could not pass the gate of the heart. Your mind is more awakened than your chest. You speak of truth, but you do not yet feel safe feeling it." That sentence hit harder than any sermon. This is what Thoth's priests knew. The vibrational test does not flatter your ego. It shows you exactly where your energy is blocked, where the void will meet resistance when you try to listen. Tonight, you will perform this test yourself, not as a performance, not as a trick for a video, but as a private mirror. When you are in a place where you will not be disturbed, do this. Sit with your spine straight. You can be on a chair, the floor, or your bed, but let your back be tall, as if a golden thread were pulling the crown of your head toward the sky. Gently tuck your chin slightly so the back of your neck feels long. Rest your hands on your thighs. Close your eyes or soften them. Let your gaze rest somewhere low, unfocused. Take a slow breath in through the nose and imagine the air traveling all the way down to your lower belly. Let the belly expand, then the ribs, then the chest. As you exhale, let your lips close lightly and release a long, unbroken Feel carefully, where does the vibration become most strong? In your head? In your throat? In your chest? In your belly or lower? Repeat this 3 times with a short pause in between, simply to observe. Then, without judgment, acknowledge what you discovered. Head-dominant vibration often means thought and intuition are strong, but the heart and body may be left behind, like a mystic living only in the sky, afraid to touch the ground. Chest-dominant vibration can show emotional sensitivity, empathy, and an awakened heart, but sometimes unexpressed grief or unspoken truths are trapped there. Belly-dominant vibration reveals deep instinct, ancestral memory, and raw creative power, but it can also hide fear, survival patterns, and old trauma. There is no better or worse place. The test is not a grade, it is a map. For Thoth's chosen ones, this sound is not about singing beautifully. It is about identifying where the void will enter most easily. Because when you later sit in pure silence, the void will first touch the place where your vibration is most awake. And if that area is wounded or defended, the first reaction might not be peace. It might be tears, flashes of anger, or old memories surfacing. This is what the ancients warned. Do not call the void if you are not willing to feel what it reveals. If you have already done the humming test while listening to this, I invite you to write in the comments, "I have taken the vibrational test." And if you wish, you may add where you felt it most: head, heart, or belly. This is not for comparison. It is to weave a tapestry of experiences so each person watching understands I am not alone in this. Remember, just this simple test, done once with sincerity, can shift something. The nervous system remembers. Your energy field begins to recognize that you are willing to see the truth of where you are. That alone is enough for Thoth's gaze to turn towards you. This is the core ritual, the moment when sound falls away and you learn to hear the living silence that has been waiting beneath your thoughts. Tell someone to repeat a mantra 1,000 times and they will feel spiritual. Tell them to sit in naked, unstructured silence for 10 minutes, and most will run. Ancient magicians would laugh at the idea that simply chanting a word over and over guarantees transformation. The gods are not parrots, one old papyrus notes. They do not wake for noise, they wake for sincerity inside stillness. The listening void is that stillness. In Tibetan caves, monks sat facing the rock for years, listening not to sacred music, but to the echo of their own hearts. In Indian ashrams, there is a practice called mauna, noble silence, where even eye contact is minimized so that inner hearing can sharpen. The ritual you are about to learn is a distilled form of these traditions, woven with the vibrational understanding of Thoth's temple. This is not meditation for relaxation. This is not a sleep aid. This is a meeting with the raw field of your being. If you treat it like a casual experiment, it may give you nothing. If you approach it like you might approach a forbidden chamber, with respect, curiosity, and a little trembling, it can change you in a single session. Here is how to perform the listening void ritual. Choose a time when you will not be disturbed for at least 15 minutes. Night is powerful, but early morning can be just as potent, that thin place between dreaming and fully waking when your inner defenses are still soft. Prepare the body, the temple of listening. Sit comfortably, but with dignity, spine tall as before. If you like, you may dim the lights or light a single candle. The point is not the aesthetic, it is to signal your nervous system, now we enter the chamber. Let your hands rest on your thighs or in your lap. Gently roll your shoulders back and down, opening the chest. Imagine that your body is a stone statue in an ancient hall, carved with care, unmoving but full of presence. 3 gates of breath. To cross from ordinary mind into the listening void, you will pass through 3 breaths, 3 gates. First breath, inhale slowly through the nose to a count of 4, filling belly, ribs, chest. Hold gently for a count of 4. Exhale through the mouth for a count of 6, like a soft sigh. As you exhale, imagine releasing the noise of the day. Second breath, same pattern. In for 4, hold for 4, out for 6. This time, imagine you are releasing the roles you play: parent, worker, friend, spiritual seeker. Let them fall off your shoulders like old cloaks. Third breath, again, in for 4, hold for 4, out for 6. Now imagine you are exhaling your own name, your story, your history. For a few minutes, you are not your biography. You are simply a field of awareness, preparing to listen. After these 3 gates, let your breathing return to a natural rhythm through the nose. The bridge of the hum. Before entering pure silence, you will use the humming test one more time, but differently. Take a comfortable inhale, and as you exhale, hum a gentle at a soft volume, just enough for you to hear and feel it. This time, do not analyze. Simply use the vibration as a bridge, like walking across a rope bridge from the noisy shore of thoughts to the quiet island of the void.
When the hum fades, do not rush to inhale. Let a tiny pause appear. In that pause, notice, there is a strange depth, a small pocket of emptiness that feels almost like the world holding its breath. That pocket is the doorway, dropping into the void. Now, here is the key. For the next 7 minutes, you will not intentionally produce any sound, words, or inner images. You will not repeat a mantra. You will not try to manifest anything. Your only task is to listen. What do you listen to? At first, you will notice the obvious, the faint buzz in your ears, distant cars, the ticking of a clock. Let them be. Do not chase them away. Beneath them, notice the subtler layers, the gentle whoosh of your own breath, the tiny crackle of your joints as you settle, the faint pulse in the sides of your neck, and then, gradually, see if you can sense something else. A kind of thick, velvety silence pressing in from all sides, a depth behind the sounds, like the dark ocean beneath surface waves. You might feel it as a cool spaciousness behind your face, a wide, dark room opening in your chest, or a heaviness in the body, as if gravity just increased. Do not be alarmed. This is the void making itself known. The mind's panic and the heart's test. At this point, your mind will almost certainly rebel. It may throw random thoughts at you, shopping lists, old conversations, sudden worries. It may whisper, "This is pointless," or "Nothing is happening." It may try to lure you into planning or fantasizing. This is not failure. This is the test. In Egypt, they said, when the god of silence enters the hall, the lesser spirits scream. Every time a thought arises, do not fight it. Fighting gives it power. Instead, treat it like a bird flying across a huge sky. Notice it, and then gently return your attention to the raw feeling of presence, the weight of your body, the space around you, the sense of something silently watching through your eyes. If emotion arises, sadness, anger, fear, let it be held in that silence. The void is not trying to erase your feelings. It is trying to cleanse them of the stories you've attached to them. The moment of contact. If you stay with this listening, something unexpected may happen. The ordinary sense of me sitting here trying to meditate fades just a little. In its place, there is a strange neutrality, almost like being a camera recording a scene rather than the actor. You might feel as if time has slowed or stretched, as if the edges of your body have softened, as if someone else is present, though you are physically alone. The ancients did not call this nothingness. They called it the witness of Thoth, the part of consciousness that sees without judgment, that listens without fear. This is the listening void. If you touch it even for a few seconds, your nervous system receives a new imprint. It is like tasting clear water after a lifetime of flavored drinks. You may find that after just one true contact with the void, your dreams, intuition, and life choices begin to change course, almost as if an invisible hand has adjusted the map. When your 7 minutes, or however long you stayed, are done, do not jump up. Take 1 or 2 deeper breaths, gently wiggle your fingers and toes, open your eyes slowly, letting the world come back into focus. Notice, does the room feel slightly different? Sometimes even the air seems denser, clearer. If you felt any shift, however small, I invite you to anchor it by writing in the comments, "I have entered the listening void." These words are not for me. They are for you, for your own subconscious to see that you are taking this inner work seriously, and for the field of others on this path to feel your presence. Remember, this ritual, done sincerely just once, can leave an imprint that echoes for years. Many people report that after their first real encounter with the void, their dreams, intuition, and life choices begin to change course, almost as if an invisible hand has adjusted the map.
This is how life changes after you have listened inside the void, and how to carry this ancient frequency into your ordinary days without losing your balance. That night, you sit in silence and touch the void. You might expect fireworks, angels, visions. Sometimes that happens, but more often the first sign is far quieter and more unsettling. You step back into your life and realize that the conversations you used to enjoy now feel hollow. The roles you play begin to itch like clothes one size too small. In the Emerald Tablet traditions, they warned, "He who hears the deep silence can no longer pretend ignorance. The mask that once fit will cut into his skin." In psychological terms, we could say that the listening void introduces a new reference point, a baseline of inner clarity. Once your system has felt that clarity, the usual noise no longer feels like just life. It feels like interference. This is both the blessing and the danger. If you are not prepared, you might interpret this as depression, alienation, or a desire to burn everything down. You might think, "I have ruined my life. I can't go back to how it was." But here is the truth. You are not supposed to go back. You are supposed to go through. However, the ancients were wise enough to know that you cannot live permanently at the edge of the void. You still have bodies to feed, bills to pay, relationships to navigate. So they taught how to walk as a voice of the void, a person who carries that deep listening into the marketplace, the home, the everyday world. How does that look? You listen before you react. After practicing the ritual, there will come a moment when someone says something that would normally trigger you: criticism, dismissal, manipulation. You will feel the first surge of heat, the old reflex, but then, like a second layer beneath it, you will sense the void, the same spacious silence you touched in the chamber. In that split second, you have a choice: react from habit or respond from listening. Thoth's chosen ones are not those who never feel anger or hurt. They are those who, in that small gap, choose to listen inward first. What is really being touched in me? What deeper pain? What old story? Even a single breath of listening can turn a fight into a revelation. You begin to hear the tone behind words. In India, some teachers say that every person speaks in a certain rasa, a flavor. It is not in the content of their words, but in the vibration beneath them. After spending time in the listening void, you may notice that some people's voices feel like sandpaper, while others feel like warm water. You will hear fear behind jokes, loneliness behind boasting, sincerity behind simple sentences. This is not about judging others. It is about navigating the world by vibration, not appearance. In Egypt, they trained initiates to choose their companions based not on status, but on the resonance of their field. You too may find yourself gently gravitating towards those whose presence feels spacious, who do not rush to fill silence with noise. Your own voice changes. People may tell you, "You sound calmer," or "There's something different when you speak now." It is not that you have suddenly become wise, it is that a fragment of the void has begun to speak through you. When you listen deeply, your words naturally become fewer but heavier, like stones placed with care rather than confetti thrown into the air. You will notice that you no longer need to convince others as much. The void does not argue, it simply reveals, and those who are ready feel it. You remember to return. The most important part of walking as voice of the void is this. You do not treat the ritual as a one-time event, but as a doorway you can revisit. Once a week, or even once a day, you give yourself those 7 minutes again. You sit, you breathe, you hum, you listen. Some sessions will feel deep and luminous. Others will be messy, restless, full of thoughts. It doesn't matter. Just as going to the gym builds muscle over time, returning to the listening void builds a new kind of spiritual muscle, the ability to remain aware and grounded even when life storms around you. Over months, something profound can happen. Your destiny begins to reorient. The job that drains you may fall away, sometimes in ways that feel chaotic but ultimately freeing. Relationships that were built on pretending may crack, making space for one's grounded in truth. Creative impulses you buried years ago may rise with insistence. From the outside, it might look like your life is falling apart. From the inside, you know the structures that could not hold the void are dissolving. This is why the ancient traditions always combined mystical practice with ethical grounding. Listening to the void without integrating it can lead to spiritual pride, cold detachment, or escapism. So they gave 3 simple anchors. Compassion. Let your increased sensitivity to energy make you kinder, not harsher. You can see others' illusions and wounds more clearly now. Remember that you too have them. Integrity. Use your deeper insight to align your actions with your inner knowing. If the void shows you a truth, do not betray it repeatedly without expecting consequences. Service. Let your listening become a gift. Sometimes the greatest offering is not advice, but being a presence where someone else feels truly heard, perhaps for the first time. In this way, you do not become a hermit stuck in mystical experiences. You become a bridge, a human being who lives in time but is nourished by something timeless. If, as you listen to this, you feel that somewhere in your life you are being asked to step up, to live more honestly, to speak more truthfully, to love more bravely, consider this your confirmation. The void has already started speaking through you. If you are ready to walk as one of Thoth's chosen ones, not in arrogance, but in human listening, write in the comments, "The journey has begun," or "I walk with the listening void." Let those words become part of a living ritual. Each comment a small bell ringing in the dark, each subscriber another point of light in this field of awakened listeners. Before we close, hear this clearly. Subscribing to this channel, liking this video, and sharing it with those who feel the same pull is not just supporting content. If you do it with awareness, it becomes part of the ritual itself. Each time you press like, you are saying to your own subconscious, "I choose this frequency." Each time you subscribe, you are telling the field, "I intend to return to this chamber of listening." And each time you share this video with someone who is quietly struggling, you are acting as a messenger of Thoth, placing a key in their hand without forcing them to use it. And every comment where you write, "I have activated the listening void within," is a thread that weaves you into a hidden community, a circle of people across countries and generations who are learning together to listen not just to the noise of the world, but to the silent song beneath it. If something in you is vibrating right now, a subtle excitement, a quiet knowing, even a trembling, honor it. You were not meant to live your whole life on the surface. You were not born just to echo the noise. You are here because some ancient part of you remembers. Thoth's chosen ones learn to listen inside the void. And once you truly hear it, you can never again pretend you are asleep. If you are ready, breathe once more with me, in and out, and let this simple whisper rise from your heart. The void is listening, and so am I. Now, if you feel called, subscribe, like, and share, not out of habit, but as an offering into this shared field. And finally, write your confirmation below in your own words. I have activated the listening void. The journey has begun, or whatever phrase your soul chooses. Let us meet again in the next ritual, in the next chamber, in the next layer of this ancient remembering. Until then, listen.